So you want to own your own business, but you need funding. Where do you go to get it? Well, we asked Melissa Gasnick-Cloeter, president of Own It Ventures, whose company provides assistance for entrepreneurs. Thanks for joining us this morning,
Thank
Melissa.
you for having me.
Let's talk about this all-important issue of funding. A lot of different places. You can
Right.
start with angel investors, VCs, and all number of other things. But let's start with the angel investors. What's the difference?
The angel investor typically are entrepreneurs themselves. Most of them are men. They're successful. They've made it. And they want to reach back and help other small business entrepreneurs. And they are semi-retired, a lot of them, but they still want to be a part of a winning business opportunity.
Mm-hmm. So they'll jump in for a piece of the pie? Is that the deal?
Typically they'll jump in for a piece of equity. Sometimes they want a position within the company. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes they want to provide more mentorship and the connections before they'll actually open up their pocketbook and provide some funding for the small business owner. But an angel investor, typically it's more about the mentorship, the connections, the area of industry of which they have expertise and knowledge in that can really help an entrepreneur grow a scalable business.
Now these are typically, they get in what, maybe about 80 to 100,000 or to 500,000?
Yes, you know, it's surprisingly, most angel investors will invest $40,000, $50,000. What we're seeing now in the angel investor marketplace, so to speak, are these groups, angel groups coming together, forming. They will develop teams. Some of them will only invest in a business if everyone on the team of the angel group says, yes, this is a go. Other groups will allow their angel investors independently to make a deal if the group itself does not make a deal with that entrepreneur. And so it's really a matter of vetting out the right type of angel and the right type of group that makes sense for your business and what industry and category that you're operating in.
Now that's a big difference from the VCs, who we're talking about instead of maybe $500,000 to $10 to $20 million.
Absolutely. The old rule of thumb is if you're looking for $2 million in funding or above, then you need to be talking to a VC, a venture capitalist group. And venture capitalists, most of them, they operate on larger scales, obviously. They're a little bit harder to break into in gaining introductions from an entrepreneur's perspective. You really have to have the right model in place and scaling up quickly in revenues. Typically, VCs operate with more tech-based businesses in the technology arena because usually those are faster in scaling up.
Mm-hmm. And then they want a bigger part of your profits.
Absolutely. They want a bigger part of the profits. Most VC groups will not be involved really with the management, so you really have to have your core management team in place and demonstrate that that team can help scale. They're the right team to have in place to scale the business up.
Now, if you're a small mom and pop business, you're looking for some money.
Right.
You also have what they call friends and family.
Yes.
How does that work?
Friends and family, that's about it. Uncle Joe, I need some money.
Wow.
It's, you know, the friends and family is from some angel investors, they look at part of the vetting process is, have you reached out to your own network, to your own friends and family? What have they invested in your business? Some angels and VCs will look at that as how strong is your business model, because obviously if your own friends and family aren't willing or able to invest in you, then why should I?
Why should they? Yeah.
Absolutely. What's really exciting is this whole crowdfunding.
That's new.
That's new. And right now you're seeing a lot of crowdfunding, which basically what that is, it's a funding made from crowds. It's all with the whole technology and internet. This is really booming. In the United States, crowdfunding now that's going on is really for nonprofits, a lot of fundraising, a lot of gifting. But as far as funding for a piece of equity, we're holding back on that. There are SEC rules that are going to be taking place for next year to help guard the investor and also to make sure that you're investing in a legitimate business proposition.
And so crowdfunding are businesses that can take take advantage of the crowdfunding is a different kind of business.
You know, it's a different kind of business. This is great for the startup entrepreneur, quite frankly, because let's say you need $10,000 up to $50,000 in startup revenue. All right, well, crowdfunding, basically, you go on a website like Kickstarter is one, and you post your business profile and you say, you know what, I need $25,000, and you're given a time frame, and you're out and you're fundraising. You're trying to build, and you can watch. You can watch the ticker going up and how close you're getting to the amount that you need.
And these are just a bunch of people putting in little bits and...
There are a bunch of people putting in little bits. You can ask for $5, you can ask for $25. A lot of these crowdfunding sites will say, listen, if you give $25, I'll send you a coffee mug. Or they'll give you, you know, it's that give and take type of thing. And as a thank you for your donation into my business. There's a lot of college students now that are using it, the crowdfunding to help pay for their college education.
Wow, okay.
I mean, you're seeing some really innovative, it started with Kickstarter, quite frankly, and that was for artists to generate revenue if they had an art display, an art show that they wanted. And how do I raise the money? Well, Kickstarter provided that for artists, so that's how it started in the United States.
The internet has just opened the door for that.
The internet has opened the door, and with that, there's caution to the wind. And that's where you need to really be discerning as an investor and also as a business owner in vetting that source that you're putting your business on.
Make sure they're legitimate.
Absolutely, you have to make sure they're legitimate. And some are different. Some crowdfunding like Kickstarter, from an investor perspective, you are not held liable or accountable for that 25 or 100 or whatever it is, unless that entrepreneur raises all the funds. And then you're on the hook.
Then you're on the hook. Wow.
Then you're on the hook. And other websites don't operate that way. So you have to kind of figure out what's best for you.
Interesting stuff. Melissa Cloeter, always a pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Always good.